You were told one rule your entire life: work hard and things will work out. But if that were true, most hardworking people wouldn't be struggling right now. So why does effort no longer guarantee results? The answer is psychological, not economic. You wake up early, you put in hours, you stay consistent, yet income doesn't scale, recognition doesn't follow, progress feels slow. Meanwhile, others seem to work less and earn more. This creates quiet resentment and confusion, and most people respond by working even harder. That's where the mistake begins. The brain rewards visible effort, not strategic leverage. Psychologically, hard work feels safe because it's familiar, it's measurable, it protects identity. So people overinvest in effort and underinvest in positioning, visibility, decision-making. Risk effort becomes a comfort zone, and comfort never scales. But here's what makes this pattern so persistent. The harder you work without results, the more you need to believe the work matters. This is called effort justification. Your brain convinces you that because you've invested so much time and energy, the payoff must be coming. So you double down. You add more hours, more tasks, more hustle, and the cycle deepens. This is how the trap shows up. You stay busy instead of strategic. You grind instead of reposition. You perfect instead of publish. Hard work keeps you occupied, but invisible. And invisibility is expensive. The market doesn't reward effort. It rewards perceived value. Let me give you an example. Two people offer the same service. Person A works 12-hour days, responds instantly, delivers flawless work, charges average rates. Person B works strategically, curates their visibility, positions themselves as selective, charges premium rates. Person A is exhausted and undervalued. Person B is in demand and well compensated. The difference isn't skill, it's psychology. Person A optimized for effort. Person B optimized for perception. And perception shapes market value faster than competence ever will. This doesn't mean competence doesn't matter. It means competence without positioning is invisible, and the invisible don't get chosen. When effort doesn't pay off, confidence drops, motivation fades, self-trust erodes. You start questioning your ability, but the real issue isn't that you're not capable. It's that you've been taught the wrong mental rule. Here's what happens internally. You begin to internalize failure as identity. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe success isn't for people like me. But none of that is true. What's actually happening is cognitive dissonance. Your internal belief system says, hard work equals success. Your external reality says, you're working hard and not succeeding. So your brain has two options. Option 1, reject the belief. Option 2, reject yourself. Most people choose option 2 because rejecting the belief feels like rejecting everything you were taught, everything you've invested in, everything that once gave your effort meaning. So instead, you assume the problem is you. And that assumption becomes a psychological anchor. It keeps you stuck in the same pattern, working harder in the same broken framework, hoping that if you just push a little more, reality will finally align with the rule you were taught. But it won't. Not because you're incapable, but because the rule itself is incomplete. People who earn more don't work harder. They work psychologically smarter. They focus on where attention flows, what signals authority, which actions create momentum. They design effort instead of defaulting to it. Once the brain understands that leverage is safer than exhaustion, income begins to respond. Here's the shift in practice. Instead of asking, how can I work harder? Ask, how can I be seen differently? Instead of optimizing for hours, optimize for impact. Instead of proving effort, design authority. This requires a mental rewiring because most of us were conditioned to believe that more effort equals more value. But in reality, value is assigned by perception, context, and positioning. You could be the hardest worker in the room and still be overlooked. Or you could be strategic, visible, and selective, and be sought after. The difference is psychological architecture. Let me be clear. This isn't about faking expertise or manipulating perception. It's about understanding that the way people perceive value is not rational. It's emotional. It's contextual. It's based on signals. And if you're only sending the signal of effort, you're blending in with everyone else who's also working hard. But if you send the signal of selectivity, authority, and strategic focus, you stand out. Not because you're better, but because you're framed differently. And framing changes everything. So what does this look like practically? It means stop taking every opportunity, start being selective. Selectivity signals value. Availability signals desperation. Stop responding immediately, start creating space. Urgency diminishes authority. Calm presence amplifies it. Stop perfecting in private. Start publishing imperfectly. Invisible excellence has no market value. Visible progress does. Stop justifying your prices with effort. Start anchoring them to outcomes. The market doesn't care how hard something was to create. It cares about the result. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start acting from the identity you're building toward. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from evidence you create through action. These aren't tactics. They're psychological reorientations. And once your behavior aligns with how value is actually perceived, everything shifts. Not overnight, but inevitably. Hard work isn't bad, but hard work without psychological leverage keeps you replaceable. The moment you stop trying to prove effort and start designing value, everything changes, not because the world suddenly becomes fair, but because you stop playing by a rule that no longer applies. You stop optimizing for exhaustion, and you start optimizing for resonance. That's when effort becomes exponential. That's when income follows psychology. And that's when hard work finally pays.